Welcome, everyone. We are World Academy for Research and Development, and we are a UK-based institute. And currently, we are operating in more than 65 countries, and the number is growing. To keep up with the quality of the education, we have the ISO certification. And to give you a quick glimpse about the ISO certification, we have the management system for education organization, general requirements for body operating certificate of persons, HRM guidelines for internal and external human capital reporting, and information management. So these are the 4 ISO certifications that World Academy holds at the moment. And according to this, we are trying to keep up with the quality of the education. These are our international affiliations with different institute. As I've said before, the number is increasing. It's currently 61. Thank you for the updates. Then we have the membership of an American Accreditation Association. We are also an approved center by Cambridge Academy of Professionals UK, ProfQual UK, and Board of HR Certification UK. We are a very proud provider of HRCI, SHRM, and ATD. These are all US-based organizations. And among them, SHRM is one of the pioneer to set HR standards globally. And a couple of our programs are also academically aligned with SHRM. We are an accredited institute by the International Professional Accreditation Council, Singapore, a member of CPD Certification Service UK, and currently partnering with Singapore Training and Development Association, Institute of KPI Specialist, and Business Academy, Academy of Business English and Communication. So the program you are all here for is the Certified Corporate Accounting. In short, we call it CCA, and this program is validated and quality assured by Cambridge Academy of Professionals, UK. So World Academy would be conducting the program, and at the end, after completion, the certificate will be issued by Cambridge Academy of Professionals. Now, I would like to introduce one of our trainers, Mr. Param. He's from Malaysia. He will be describing the modules with you as he has to leave early. So I'm going to give this section to him early. So he's going to give you the idea of what is going to be covered in the CCA program. And after he completes, then I will continue with the administrative part. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen over here. I would like to request Param sir to share his presentation to describe today's module.
Okay.
Param sir, you can continue.
All right. Thank you, David. Good evening to you. My name is Param. Can you all hear me? Yes, no?
Yes.
All right, great. Okay, let me start this. Tawhid just now explained to you about the...
Yes, we are hearing you, sir.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Yeah. So he talked about the program itself. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly cover what will be addressed in this particular program itself. So it's called Certified Corporate Accountant Program, or CCA in short. Okay. I hope you all can see my screen. Let's move on. Now, basically, the CCA course is a professional certification program. Yeah, it is designed to equip participants like yourself, okay, with knowledge, okay, advanced knowledge actually, and skills in corporate accounting, financial reporting, and financial management. Okay, it will cover topics like financial reporting, financial statement analysis, budgeting, forecasting, and financial planning. Okay, as well as specialized areas like financial auditing, controlling, and compliance. Okay, so of course, upon completion of the course, participants will be certified as certified corporate accountant, demonstrating their expertise as in corporate accounting and financial management. Now, what does this program cover? Let's look at it now. Now, this program consists of 10 modules, yeah, and they consist of the following. One is introduction to business and accounts. Now, I will address them as I move along subsequently in the subsequent slides. So one of the first modules that you will look at is introduction to business and accounts. Module 2 will cover fundamentals of corporate accounting. Module 3, role and functions of an accountant in an organization. Module 4, different accounting concepts. Module 5, accounting of capital. Module 6, financial statement preparation and analysis of these financial statements. Module 7, we will look at accounting standards. What are the accounting standards that govern the preparation of financial statements? Module 8, we will look at annual reports of companies. We will explore some annual reports of some organizations and see how the reports are prepared and what is the content of the report. Okay, Module 9, we look at cash and fund flow management, understand the difference between cash and fund flow, how is the cash flow statement prepared, okay? And Module 10, of course, we will look at audit, control, and compliance, both for in terms of regulatory compliance and in terms of compliance to standards like IFRS, okay? Now, let's explore this modules in a little bit of detail so that you understand what you will be contained in these modules, okay? So if you look at module 1, introduction to business and accounting, okay, what does the business involve? Actually, it's actually an organized effort to provide goods and services, okay, while accounting focuses on the recording, the reporting, and analyzing these financial transactions. So what is the importance of this? This importance is because the information that you actually record and report and analyze supports decision-making processes, okay, and it also ensures compliance and tracks the financial health of the organization itself. We will look at the types of organization or businesses, which will include sole proprietorship or one-man show, a partnership, more than one, okay, a corporation, a limited company, okay, or cooperative it may be, okay. So we will explore the different types of organizations that we exist. So this is what will be covered in module 1. Okay, and the key principles that apply to the preparation of financial statements, which will of course include things like accrual, consistency, and going concern. We will explore these details as you go into these various modules and attend this particular program itself. Now, in module 2, we will look at, okay, the corporate structure, okay, and we'll look at features of a corporate entity, separate legal entity, limited liability. What is the difference between a sole proprietor and a limited company? What are the differences? How do you report those transactions? What are the accounting standards that are applicable? Okay, so what are the key accounting components of a corporate organization that is a limited company, which is registered under a Companies Act? You look at things like share capital, reserve, surplus, debentures. Okay, you also have things like corporate financial reporting. You look at the key financial statements that are prepared, which are mandated regulatory by the country you operate in, and of course by the accounting standards like IFRS. Okay, so you look at balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement. Okay, and you will also look at the compliance and regulatory framework that covers the preparation of financial statement. What are the things that you need to comply to, and what will happen if you do not comply? Okay, so you look at IFRS, you will look at GAAP. GAAP stands for Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, which are actually US based, okay, and any local statutory requirements that may be applicable within your country itself that you're operating under. Okay, so in module 3, okay, we'll look at what are the core responsibilities as an accountant. Okay, your core responsibilities, of course, is maintaining financial records, preparing budgets, and ensuring compliance. Okay, you also have a strategic role as an accountant because your financial planning, risk management, and resource allocation also becomes as part of your responsibility. So it is very important to understand as an accountant, you don't just play a single role. Sometimes you, in any organization, you can play all the 3 roles in one, okay, particularly so in a small organization, okay. Your communication with stakeholders. Stakeholders are who? Stakeholders are the users of your financial statement, which will include your shareholders, which will include your management, which will include your suppliers, which will include your customers, which will include your competitors, so that you have sufficient communication with your stakeholders. Okay, so reporting to management, liaising with the auditors, external auditors, internal auditors, and this process helps the decision-making process itself much easier. Of course, you need to comply to some ethical standard. As an accountant, you're bound by your whichever organization that you are registered under. Okay, so you uphold integrity, confidentiality, and of course, exercise professionalism in doing so. So this is what will be covered in this module. So if you look at the next module, we will look at some of the key concepts, okay, that will be addressed. Okay, and so these key concepts will include business entity concept, dual aspect concept, matching concept, and any other concept that are applicable for the preparation of financial statement. Okay, then you look at things like principles of recognition. How do you recognize revenue? When do you recognize revenue? How do you recognize an expense? When do you recognize an expense? How do you match the revenue with the expense? So all this will be covered under this module. Okay, and you will come across and learn some valuation principles like historical cost, fair value, net realizable value, and understand this terminology that will be covered in this particular module, which is consists of different accounting concepts itself. Okay, and then you will learn how to apply this in real world scenarios. Okay, so we'll provide you with practical examples for clarity and understanding of how these different accounting concepts affect the preparation of financial statements. Okay, so in module 5, you look at accounting for capital. Okay, what is accounting for capital? There are various types of capital. There's equity capital, that is capital that comes from shareholders. There's also debt capital, that is from your borrowing. Working capital are your day-to-day capital that you use for managing your short-term financial obligations. So you'll understand the terminology, you will understand what it contains and how this have to be classified. Okay, you will learn how to record the capital transactions. What happens when you issue shares? How do you treat the repayment of loans to your lenders, for example, your banks? Okay, and of course, you look at capital reserve versus revenue reserve. Okay, you look at the purpose and examples of what are capital reserves like valuation reserves, what are revenue reserves like retained earnings, for example. Okay, and then what is the impact of this to financial statement itself? Okay, so your analysis of capital related entries, which and the impact to the financial statement that you prepare. So accounting for capital is one important module within this program itself. So if you look at module 6, we will look at financial statement preparation analysis. Of course, we will look at components of the financial statement, which are key financial statements that are actually mandated by standards or mandated by regulatory requirements, which will include, of course, the balance sheet, okay, a statement of financial positions, otherwise called, or it's called income statement or profit and loss statement or cash flow statement itself. Okay, then you learn preparation techniques, journal entries, trial balance adjustments. How do you treat them? Okay, how do you pick up your prepare your balance sheet from your trial balance? How do you prepare your income statement from using your trial balance? What adjustments do you need to make? How do you handle accruals, for example? Okay, so you will also have you will learn analysis tools like ratio analysis. There are different ratios that are used to analyze these financial statements, like current ratio, acid test ratio, debt to equity ratio, okay, which are applicable to different financial statements. Okay, you will of course study some trend analysis. How have you improved from the current year as compared to the previous year? Has there been a change? Is there an increase in, for example, assets or capital? What was the resulting factor that provided for or caused this change? Okay, so you are able to do some comparative analysis of these financial statements. Okay, and of course, you need to interpret that for stakeholders. Like I told you, stakeholders are users of the financial statement. So you will have insight into the investors, the creditors, the management, okay, the government, for example, for tax purposes. So these are all the stakeholders who have a vested interest in the business that you are running. In module 7, we will look at accounting standards. Okay, so purpose of accounting standards, why accounting standards? Okay, and you look at some of the key accounting standards like consistency, comparability, and reliability. Okay, how do these standards apply to the financial statements that you prepare? So we'll look at the key standards which are actually issued by IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standard, IAS, which was previous to 2011, International Accounting Standards, which is now issued by IFRS, and of course look a brief look at the US generally accepted accounting principles, which is the US GAAP. Okay, and how is this applied in the different business scenarios? For example, revenue recognition, how do you handle lease accounting? How do you treat financial instruments? Okay, particularly applicable to financial institutions and banks. Okay, how are these treated? When do you recognize the revenue? At what point? Okay, all these uh, uh, are discussed in this particular module itself. Okay, so what are the recent updates and trends that are taking place in the area of standards? Because as an accountant, you need to understand and keep abreast of the changes that are taking place in the issuance of accounting standards so that your accounting standards are prepared in accordance with the standards that are prescribed. Okay, so in module 8, we will look at the annual report. What is the annual report? We will look at the structure of the annual report. We will look at things like the director's report, the auditor's report, financial statement. This is particularly applicable to public listed companies. So if you looked at annual report of a public listed company, which we will share in this module, okay, you will take a look at what does the director's report say, what does the auditor's report say, and what are the financial statements that are covered in there. Okay, what are the key disclosures that you need to make? Okay, for example, you need to say what is the corporate governance policy of the company itself. What are the risk management strategies that you are adopting? Okay, and taking so that you make sure that the company is sustainable. Okay, so the importance to stakeholders for purposes of decision making, transparency, and of course performance review itself. Okay, and we will look at some real world reports, okay, with actual financial statements of public listed companies within Malaysia itself, if I do this module. So you will take a look at them and see what their, for example, what does the director's report contain? What does the auditor's report contain? So you need to look at it in a holistic manner so that you can understand the content of the annual report itself, okay? So we will provide you with some case studies from leading public listed companies within the country specified. Okay. Module 9, you look at cash and fund flow management. Okay, you will understand what is the difference between cash and fund flow. Okay, we will look at the definitions and applications. What is the difference? What is the difference between the cash flow statement and the P&L statement, for example? How do you prepare the cash flow statement using the P&L, for example? You will understand that. What is the importance of it in business operations? Okay, that means you look at things like liquidity management. Okay, we talked about short-term, meeting your short-term financial obligations. When you do ratio analysis, you actually do liquidity management by looking at the current asset ratio, for example. Okay, or you need, because your capital is limited, you need to know what investment decisions do you want to undertake. So when you, some of the things that you will learn under this module will cover that. Okay, and of course you need to see how cash flow statement is actually prepared. Okay, there are two ways of preparing it. There's a direct and indirect method. We will learn and teach you how to exactly prepare these cash flow statements for your organization itself. Okay, and of course, this analysis and decision making, you identify trends, able to assess the financial health by looking at the content of the financial statement, doing some ratio analysis, doing some trend analysis, doing some comparative analysis. You're able to come to some conclusion. Okay, so this is what will be covered in this module. And lastly, module 10, which is audit, control, and compliance. We will look at what are the purposes of audit. You will explore, basically, it ensures accuracy, okay, compliance, and also allows for some element of fraud prevention. Okay. Then you will be exposed to things like types of audits, which are internal audits within the organization, which is reporting to the management, external audit, which is reporting to other parties who are interested in your organization itself. And because there are statutory requirements for audit, especially if you look at Malaysia, you need to have, if you're a limited company registered under the Companies Act, you need to carry out an audit every year. Okay, and then you look at the concept of internal controls. What are those internal controls that exist in the organization? How are your various business transactions being handled? How is purchasing being handled? How is inventory being handled? How is cash being managed? So you look at whether there are policies, procedures, and controls that covers these various business activities itself. Okay, so you look at the framework and the implementation and monitoring of internal controls within an organization itself. Okay, and of course, you look at the compliance requirement, regulatory adherence, which is the Companies Act, for example, okay, or any ethical practices that they are required. Okay, and the role in risk management. What are the risks that your company is exposed to? What are the financial risks? How do you handle the financial risk? What is market risk? What is liquid risk? Okay, so we look at the various types of risk that a business entity is exposed to, and you try and understand and look at things like how do you actually manage to this risk or mitigate this risk. Okay, these are some of the things that we covered in this module. So, okay, so basically, and then of course you identify your role in risk management. Yeah, like I told you, identify the risk. Okay, record the risk, identify the risk, mitigate the risk, and see and monitor the risk to see that you're able to manage it. Okay, so this now what are the outcomes that you get from if you attend this program? Yeah, basically you will understand business and accounting basics. Okay, so you get a foundational knowledge of accounting principles, the various types of business structures that we talked about, the sole proprietorship, business entity registered under a Companies Act. Okay, their financial implications. Okay, so you will also develop an understanding of the key terminologies like what are assets, why are assets classified as fixed assets, why are classified as current assets, what are liabilities, current liabilities, long-term liabilities. You look at things like equity, you look at understand what is income, you look at what is revenue, okay, and how they support the decision-making process itself. Okay, then of course you look at the corporate and financial accounting skills. Okay, you learn to prepare corporate financial statements from like balance sheet, income statement, cash flow. Okay. You will understand the components of the corporate finances, including equity, debt, reserves, while mastering transaction recording and classification. Like I told you, you have a role and you will understand your strategic role, okay, in looking at the strategic and operational accounting. Okay, so you recognize the strategic contributions of accountants. Basically, accountants play a major role in this part of the organization. Okay, so especially financial planning, in the risk management, in the operational efficiency of the organization. So you will acquire insights into the daily responsibilities, like actually doing the bookkeeping, that means knowing how to record those transactions. You look at things like payroll and compliance, and understand how accountants also act as advisors to enhance profitability. Okay, so you will understand the application of accounting principles. Like I told you, we will cover the various accounting principles that we talked about earlier. Okay, you look at capital management and representation, the various types of capital, the valuation method. Okay, you will handle how to handle share issuance, how do I manage bonds, okay, what are capital reserves, how do I ensure where are they to be reported, are they reported in the balance sheet, are they reported in the profit and loss, okay, so that you have accurate representation in the financial statement. Okay, and you will learn how to prepare financial statements and analyze those financial statements. Okay, which will include, of course, balance sheet, P&L, cash flow statement. You will look at things like ratio analysis, trend analysis. You look at various methods. You will understand that better. Okay, and of course, you need to implement the accounting standards. Accounting standards are there for you to implement. So, as an accountant, your role, okay, that you will learn while attending this program is to understand your role is to what is your role as far as the application of the accounting standards. Okay, so you will gain knowledge of the various standards that exist, which include IFRS and GAAP, okay, and other global standards that are required. Okay. So number 8, application of accounting principles. Okay, you master key accounting concepts like accrual, consistency, prudence, or conservatism, as others call it. Okay, and understand them and how they impact the financial reporting process itself. Okay, you look at the capital management and representation, understand the various types of capital and the valuation methods. Okay, how to handle those transactions. You look at financial statement preparation and analysis. Okay, you look at implementation of accounting standards. So you have understood how to apply the standards that you are required to apply. Okay, so basically that's what the 10 modules in this program will cover. So I would strongly advise that if you are looking to enhance your skill sets in these areas of financial planning, financial management, and understanding what is corporate accounting, my recommendation to you is to attend this program. So I have completed my portion of it. If you have any specific questions, I will address them. If you don't have, you can raise these questions with your admin, and they can forward those questions to me, and I'll give you a written reply. Unfortunately, I'm rushing off to another program at 10:30. So let me see how much time I have. So I have another 3 minutes. So if you have any specific questions in any of the modules, this module is called CCA. Okay, so it has got this program is called CCA. It's got 10 modules which I've covered earlier, and I told you the content of the 10 modules. Okay, so it provides you, and I've told you what are your learning outcomes from attending this program. All right, thank you very much, and thank you for listening to me. This is Paramya. Bye.
I think there's a question. Can we take this question quickly, sir? Is that
Yes,
possible?
yes, of course.
Yes, Miss Nega Bard.
Yes, are you listening to me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
So the question that I had is, I will not be getting time to attend live session, but I want to pay for the self-paced learning. And then if I get time, can I be having access to the online class?
Well, usually the format is only for either you're going to go for the live session or you're going to go for the self-paced version. If it is a blend, it becomes a bit difficult for the administration to control your assessments. I hope I've answered the question. Do you have any particular question for our trainer regarding the modules?
No, that was my question.
Okay. So it's better if you either choose self-paced or for a live session. Anyone would be okay.
So I will not be able to continue with you because I had to deal with all of that. Self-paced, and when I get time, then I go on live.
Okay.
Because I'm always busy working.
Okay. Then you should go for the self-paced version.
The self-paced.
Yeah, it's a self-paced version.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Param regarding the modules, regarding the curriculum? If not, then we'll tell goodbye to Mr. Param and I'll continue with the administrative part of the course.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Tawhid. Catch you later.
Okay, sir. I'll take the questions. If there is any, I'll take the questions and forward
Yes,
it to you.
please do. Thank you so much. Bye for now, everybody.
All right, so thank you. All right, so Mr. Param left, so I'm going to share my screen and we'll have the question answer session at the end. I hope everyone is good with that. So is my screen visible?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, visible.
Can I continue?
Yes.
All right. So as I've said earlier, that this program, CCA, is validated and quality assured by Cambridge Academy of Professionals. And upon completion of this professional program, you will get the certificate directly from Cambridge Academy of Professionals. Moving on to the digital badge part, well, we are issuing digital badge from the pearsonCredly.com platform. It's #1 digital platform provider at the moment, and companies like IBM, Cisco is also issuing their professional badges through that platform. And World Academy has an arrangement with Credly. Therefore, we are also going to provide you, after successful completion, we're going to provide you the digital badge through that platform to make it more validated. Besides the digital badge, you'll also get the certificates. Of course, you can see the sample certificate would look like this. This will also be the digital version as well. And you will also get a printed version as well of the certificate. Something about the success stories that we have. Well, so far we have completed 2 batches. We started in 2024, and this would be the 3rd batch you would be joining, if you plan so. and about 75 plus professionals have already completed CTA from us. So that's like over 14 countries. So it's like a good statistics in 1 year. We are trying to increase this number as well. These are the companies that our participants have worked with. And I'm just going to show, just going to show it very quickly. We have local and multinational companies that people are working at. Now, getting on to the features of this program, well, Mr. Param has already described the 10 top modules that you will be studying under this program. The duration is 4 months. We have tried to fit in the classes according to the duration, and all the classes will be on Zoom app, just like this. You will be getting the Zoom link through WhatsApp group, as the live session holds a WhatsApp group. So you'll get all the updates from there. The classes will be on weekends. It's from 2 to 4 p.m. GMT. So you need to convert this time to your local time to understand the best, to understand the exact time. We'll have the examinations through online facilities. We're going to provide it through an exam portal. You will not get the class recordings, of course. The class recordings are only for administrative purpose. So the recording will be going to the certification body. The books and the materials that you will find on your learning management system will be completely free. You can download it to your device and use it for future. So upon enrollment to this program, or who have already enrolled in this program, would be able to find their books and the materials on the LMS. You cannot not able to find us. You can of course go through the live chat option from website. Something about the why would you choose the course from World Academy? Well, the way we have designed the program that we have kept the job learning on the job orientation basis. And already Mr. Param told you some of the competencies that would be covered in this program. Extensive practices during the course. So you'll have the best opportunity to ask your questions to the trainers if you have any. We usually have the question answer session at the end of each session. So you can always note down your questions and then ask, or you can raise your hand and ask your questions. You will have some exercises based on the curriculum. You will have tools and formats provided to you, and it would depend on the module, definitely. Of course, I've said a few minutes back that we have both the live session and also the self-paced version available. And global resources, you came to be introduced with Mr. Param. He's one of the resources who will be taking the programs and the modules. There will be 2 other resources to cover this curriculum. Coming down to the class management, total 10 modules and 10 sessions. So in a span of 4 months, you have to attend 10 sessions. Each class will be 2 hours. So in total, 20 hours will be covered throughout the 4 months. Each, of course, will cover about 1 module. So the final exam and the final assignment will be covered or conducted after all the modules are successfully completed. And you don't have to worry about that, because we will make sure that you give the exam after you have covered all the modules. Now the assessment part says the structure of the exam will be as follows. You can see on the screen that there are about 50 MCQs that you need to attend, and each MCQ is 2 marks. So that makes the total examination mark 200, and you will get about 60 minutes to complete the program. Remember that this is a certified program. You need to make sure that you need to qualify, and to be qualified, you need to have at least 70% and above mark to be qualified in this certified program. Below that, you can of course, sit for a makeup exam. I'll be coming to the makeup exam part very shortly. So when you start the program, the first thing you will encounter is a pre-course assignment that is only for learning purpose. So you're not going to mark it. You're just going to see what existing knowledge you have about the program. And you just need to work on the pre-course assignment, submit, and then you can start off with the live session materials. And at the end of the program, with your final exam, there will be one final assignment. We call it as capstone project, and that weighs about 300 marks. Of course, to qualify for this capstone project separately, you need to score 70% and above. So you have two areas to be qualified. One is the exam and the capstone project. To put everything in one glimpse, you can see the scoring framework on the screen. So the pre-course assignment, I said it is only for learning purpose. So it's not going to be marked. We just want to see where you are at. So we are going to leave this mark empty. The final exam, which is MCQ based, holds about 100 marks. To qualify at 70%. Similar with the capstone project, we have one capstone project which weighs about 300 marks, and you also need to qualify with 70% and above. Now, what we have in the administrative part is there will be a review session. After you have completed the 10 modules, we'll try to set a review session. If you have any questions, additional questions, you can always have that opportunity or take that opportunity to ask your questions. Now, of course, there will be the final assignment that you need to give or submit after the exam. You have the class recording won't be shared. I've told you before, opportunities to attend makeup exam is free of cost. Now, let me clarify is when you first attend your exam, we consider that as a regular attempt. But for some reason you haven't been qualified or you haven't secured the 70% mark, you can of course sit for a makeup exam. Now, when you sit for a makeup exam, that is completely free. There's no charge to it. So your first attempt and second attempt, technically, there is no charge. Well, if there is any extra attempt required after the makeup exam or the first attempt, then from the third attempt, if I put it this way, from the third attempt, there will be a fee added. So take good preparations to pass on the first attempt or the regular attempt. If not, try to pass it on the second attempt. You have the materials. Usually we provide the materials after the class because we need to ensure everything is on the right track. And after the class is complete, within a day or two, we will be uploading the class materials on the learning management system. It will not be provided to you on the WhatsApp group. You need to collect the assignments or the class materials from the learning management system. Class notifications, exam notifications, or any related notifications will be provided to the WhatsApp group where all the participants of the live sessions will be present. There will be a situation where sometimes we need to postpone classes due to natural calamities. There may be some emergencies of the trainer, so we need to postpone these sessions. And for that reason, sometimes we may lose the sequence of the modules. So example, on the third session, the trainer has missed, but we will continue the fourth module on the next week. But the third session will be conducted very soon. We will announce everything and we will of course discuss it before we set the schedule for the module 3. So even if it doesn't go in a sequence, but we will make sure that we are covering all the modules. Now, attendance is recorded, of course, when you attend the Zoom session. You need to make sure that you write your full name and get into the Zoom link so that we can identify you and can consider your attendance. So make sure that you do that every time you log into a class or sit in a class. Now let us come to the completion part. Well, I've already shown you the certificate. I've already shown you the digital badge and how you will get it. Well, the first thing is that you will get the electronic certificate on after a week or two when when a compiled grade has been published, means your exam grades and your assignment grades both have been published. You have been qualified in both the areas. From that day on, we will consider 1 or 2 weeks. And within this week, we'll try to provide you the electronic certificates through email. Along with that, it will take about 10 working days to give you the digital badge, as we are using another platform, which is credly.com, to provide you the digital badge. You will also get it. And printed certificates, we are planning to distribute the certificates 4 times a year. At the moment, it is 3, but if the decision is finalized, we will be distributing 4 times a year. So whichever slot is nearest to your successful completion or completion to this batch, we will be sending you that slot. And along the way, we will be updating you about the certificate that is required. Now, Mr. Param has already discussed about the modules. I'm not going to go into the details of this module. Just to give you an overview of what is going to happen. Well, you have the pre-course assignment. That is one activity that you need to do when you get started. You'll have the online sessions that you need to attend. Make sure that the attendance is there. Even if you have an emergency, just let us know in the group that you are not you will not be able to attend the class. The in-course activity, well, there will be some activities, of course. You have the post-course online examination, that is the final exam that you need to attend, and the final assignment, and you have the online badge and the certificates that will be provided to you. You can always contact us through emails or learning management system, and the WhatsApp group will be there. That is all from my part. I would like to say that the next class will be from 1st of February. So if you haven't enrolled yet, you may enroll now or complete it before the 1st of February so that we can all start the session together. And and if you are connected with the representative, please do knock them and ask for assistance regarding enrollment and everything. Now, I would like to stop my presentation and go for the question answer session. If anybody has question regarding anything, you can please raise your hand and ask.